Patient number 041, first session. The patient is Owen Barkley, a 17-year-old boy whose younger sister had just passed. His parents have called me in a troubled state. They said that this is an emergency and I have to see Owen as soon as possible. They have mentioned several incidents over the past couple of weeks and... that's him. Come in! Hello, you must be Owen.
Yes.
Have a seat. It's nice to meet you, Owen. I'm Dr. Samuels.
You gotta help me.
Well, that's what I'm here for. What's troubling you, Owen?
I know this will sound insane, but you gotta believe me.
What will?
He is after me.
Who is?
I can't. You'll never believe me. You'll think I'm making it up. Send me away.
Please, Owen, just try. This is a safe place, and everything you say is between you and I as long as it's not something that will harm you or others.
I don't know.
Let's take a deep breath together on 3.
Okay.
1. 2. 3. Now, that's better, isn't it?
I guess.
Would you like a cup of water?
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, shall we start from the beginning?
Yeah, okay. So, everything started at Alina's funeral.
Alina was your younger sister, right?
Yeah. I assume that my parents told you all about it already.
They did, but I tend to give my patients the agency to give me all the information they choose to.
They think that's why I'm here.
Meaning?
They think that everything that happened, my tantrums, are because of what happened to her.
They're wrong?
Couldn't be further from the truth.
Okay. Would you like to talk about what happened to her?
I don't... She was just Alina. This big ball of energy and light. And then she drowned. And then that's it. No more light. It was horrible. But that's not why I'm here.
Right. So everything started at her funeral.
Yeah. I was just sitting beside her grave with my parents. It was a cold day, and I just prayed that we could just go inside. Pray that this nightmare would be over. I was just looking at her grave. It was filled with flowers and candles, her favorite toys. Everything felt so surreal. I think that if not for the cold, I would have thought it was a dream. A lot of people came. It was very overwhelming. They just swarmed all over the place. I don't know why, but I kept thinking they were all like flies.
Flies?
They were everywhere, constantly humming in my ears. It drove me insane. I just wanted all of them to go away. I was just staring at her grave, wishing everything would just disappear. When I saw him...
Who is he?
I didn't know at first. Honestly, I thought I was hallucinating. He was just a gray figure in the distance at first. And no matter how much I squinted, I couldn't see him clearly. But I could feel him. Could feel his presence. Do you ever feel like you are extremely aware of your own skin?
I don't think I've ever had the pleasure.
Oh, trust me, it's anything but. It's like your own body turns against you. Everything becomes this foreign, cold feeling. You don't have anywhere to run. It trickles down your neck. Every bone in your body stiffens. And it's so cold.
Definitely doesn't sound like a pleasant experience.
Exactly. That was how I felt. Seeing his silhouette in the distance I knew it was because of him. And as he got closer, as he became clearer, I felt that feeling more and more. There was also this weird feeling of panic. Like he was not supposed to be there. Like he was not supposed to exist. Suddenly, I couldn't breathe. I had asthma attacks when I was a kid, so I know how they feel, and this was nothing like this. It was like someone took my lungs or something. Took my ability to do it. I couldn't even gasp. I felt like a kid again. So goddamn helpless and small. He got closer, and I wanted to scream, but I couldn't feel my voice. I couldn't feel anything. I was just frozen. I finally saw him. He wore this gray pants and this weird gray hoodie that covered his face. I just felt like all the blood in me dried. Like I was just a shell of a person. And he took it from me. That's when my mom started to shake me. I don't remember what happened afterwards, but they had to bring me to the ER. They found nothing. My asthma wasn't back. All the blood tests came out regularly.
Sounds like quite the experience.
I just wanted to forget it ever happened. Just wanted to erase that day from my memory. But then, other weird things started to happen. I could swear I saw drops of blood everywhere. On walls and sidewalks, dripping down poles and stop signs. Sometimes when I walked down the streets or sat in class, I could feel that feeling again. That cold, foreign, god-awful feeling. And I could swear I saw him in the rear of my eye, just out of reach.
Did you tell anybody about any of that?
I was too scared at first. I thought that they'll just think I'm crazy, paranoid. After a while, I finally told my parents. They thought I was sick. Took me to more screenings and tests that didn't help for shit. Eventually, they just gave up and told me it'll pass.
How did that make you feel?
Even more helpless. It felt like they didn't even try to listen. Meanwhile, it just started to happen more often. And everyone I told just looked at me with pity. That made me feel nuts.
That must have been difficult.
You have no idea.
How did you deal with that feeling of helplessness?
I like to draw. It's not like I'm good or something, but it's nice. Helps me blow off steam. I tried to draw him, that weird figure, but it always turned out to be just a blurry mess.
Tell me about the incident in school.
Yeah, okay. So, after it started happening more often, one day I walked to school with my friend Viv. It was a normal day so far. Nothing happened yet. We were just talking normally when we entered the hall where my locker was. There was a big crowd there. Gathering, talking, swarming. The minute I walked through the door, they all stared at us. We just walked to my locker, extremely confused when we saw it.
It?
My locker was covered in blood. It was everywhere, just dripping. And in the middle, there was this blood-soaked paper that said, "Killer." There were dead flies attached to it, covering it like some sick decorations.
That must have been horrifying.
I just froze. I didn't know what to do. That feeling came back stronger than ever. So much that I couldn't even move if I tried. And then, I saw him again. Behind the crowd, hiding like a coward. I couldn't really see him because of all the people, but I swear he was smiling. He wanted me to know I was there. He waved at me. He taunted me. He enjoyed it. I was helpless again, and he basked in that feeling.
What broke his effect?
Viv. She shaked me, just like my mom did. Eventually, I broke out of it to see the principal, yelling at everyone to go back to class. I think I cried. I don't remember. The next thing I knew, I wound up being in her office. She called my parents. I didn't understand why at the time, but when she sat us down, she showed us.
What did she show you?
She showed us a video from the security cameras.
Breathe, Owen. It's okay. Remember, this is a safe place. What video did she show you?
She showed me. Myself. It was a video of that hooded figure trashing my locker. And after he finished, he looked at the security camera and took off the hoodie, and it was my own face staring back at me. This time he didn't smile. He just looked at the camera like his eyes were empty, like he was empty. I started to yell, sob. I was so panicked, I didn't understand. It wasn't me. I said that over and over, still refusing to believe that this is happening. They all just looked at me with that goddamn pity again. The principal said she's sorry, and she understands that this is a tough time for me, but this couldn't go unpunished. I begged her, tried to get her to understand, but she still had to suspend me. She just looked at me like I'm a wounded puppy and told my parents that I should probably see a therapist. But I'm not crazy. That wasn't me on that tape. You gotta believe me.
It's okay, Owen. I promise you that there's an explanation to all of this. We're gonna get to the bottom of this together, and...
There's more. After that happened, I got home, and I found a note on my bed. It said, "Meet me outside at midnight." At first I told myself that I shouldn't go, that who knows what he is capable of, but then I felt that feeling again. And I told myself that I have to confront him.
What happened when you confronted him?
I went out, exactly at midnight like he wanted. He came, and I just started to feel that feeling again. But I fought, as best as I could. He stood in front of me and took off his hoodie, and seeing him in the camera, it was different. I guess it made it less real, but this was as real as it gets. I looked at him, and it was like staring at a mirror. He smiled again, and I wanted to scream. I asked him how. What are you? He just said that it doesn't matter, that he is here to help me. Free me. I said I don't want his help, that I just wanted all of this to end. He smiled at me again. "But this is a good thing, don't you see?" he said. "I'm gonna make all of the flies stop humming." And then he put his hoodie back up, and he walked away.
How did that encounter make you feel?
I don't think I was ever so scared in my life. I just went back home and drew until I fell asleep. The next morning, I woke up all hazy and tired. I went downstairs. My parents weren't home, but they left the TV on. The local news was on. Apparently, my principal's house burnt down at night. The police were still looking for a suspect. But I knew who did it.
You think it was him?
I know it was. He said he would help me, that he would make the fly stop, and guess which fly just suspended me? I just stared at the TV in complete horror. I couldn't believe it. And then I felt that feeling again, and I turned my head, And there he was, in the window, smiling that twisted smile again. Then, he slowly raised his hand and pointed. "One," he mouthed. And then he went away. I wanted to chase him down, tell him to stop doing that, call the police, anything, but I was just frozen. When I snapped out of it again, I decided to try and find him. I went the way he did, until I finally saw a glimpse of that gray hoodie. He was headed into some abandoned warehouse. I didn't follow him inside because I was scared he would spot me, but when he came out, he had an electric saw. That's when I called the police. I told them that there's a dangerous individual holding a saw, and he is heading somewhere. I told them that he looks just like me. They sent a car, but until they got there, he was already gone. They thought I had prank called them, but when they saw how scared I was, they just gave me a ride back home. I didn't want a ride back home. I wanted them to listen. I wanted them to try and stop him. They just did nothing.
How did you feel when you came back home?
Like a loser. I just stared at him like a coward and did nothing. When I went back home, I just paced around the entire day, waiting to hear that someone I know had a horrible accident. I made a list of people he might hurt. People that made fun of me in school. Annoying math teacher, that one person at a skate park that laughed when I fell one time. Anyone that ever did me wrong. It didn't take me long until I found out who the saw was for. When my sister drowned, she had a babysitter. She was supposed to watch her, but something happened and she had to go away for a moment, so she didn't notice when Alina took too long in the tub. That babysitter loved Alina. She had been babysitting her for a long time now, and they adored each other. She was so terrified when everything happened. She would have never left her there unless she absolutely had to. I know that. A tree outside her house had collapsed. It was right over her bedroom, so she was injured. Very badly. He disappeared before the police came, just like last time. And then, again, I could feel that feeling. And I turned around. He mouthed "two" and disappeared again.
How did it feel, hearing about her accident?
I was horrified, but a tiny, fucked up piece in me was a little glad that she got what she deserved. I feel so guilty about that, but that's just how I feel.
It is totally understandable to hold a grudge to people who have wronged us, even if it was on purpose or not.
I know that, but still.
How did you react when you heard what happened?
It was like everything just bubbled inside me. I broke down. I was so frustrated. I just wanted everything to be over so bad. So I went back to the warehouse. I waited for a moment where I was sure I was out of his sight, and I left him a note.
What did the note say?
We need to talk, as soon as possible. And after a few hours, I heard a ding. I ran downstairs to find a note on my front door. The graveyard, near the fountain, at midnight, alone. I contemplated if I should go. Going alone to a graveyard in the middle of the night sounds like the beginning of a really bad 80s horror movie. Especially to meet him. But I had to try. He can't keep hurting people. So I went, and I took the biggest kitchen knife with me. He was there, near the fountain, exactly where he said he'll be. He smiled at me again, and I wanted to do everything I can to never see that horrible smile ever again. You have to stop, I told him. Hurting all those people isn't helping me. He just looked at me like I broke his worldview in half, but it's finally stopping. The humming is quieting down. I don't want the humming to stop, I told him. Just leave all those people alone. Go away and never come back. And then he looked at me like I was a fly myself. He started to get closer and closer. That smile spreading again. If you like flies, maybe I should treat you like one, he said. And then...
Owen, it's okay. He isn't here right now. You're safe. What happened next?
He took my head. I tried to resist, but he was strong. And he put my head in the fountain and held my head down.
Do you remember what you thought at the moment?
I thought, this must be how Alina felt. And then I remembered the knife. And the next thing I know, he was on the ground with the knife in his lower stomach. I ran away as fast as I could. I came home and locked everything. My parents just looked at me like I was insane. So they called you.
Why do you think your parents called me?
Because I look like a fucking lunatic? I know how this story sounds. I know everything I told you is insane. But you have to believe me, please. He may be injured for now, but he's gonna come back, and he is gonna finish it this time.
It's okay, Owen. I'm going to help you.
You will?
I intend to. I think there is a reasonable explanation to all of this. You just have to stay with me.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the third man factor?
I don't think so.
The third man factor is usually regarding situations where a presence that no one but the victim can see or hear is there to help the victim who is undergoing extreme stress or a traumatic experience and support said victim. It is usually talked about in cases of near-death experiences, and this situation is quite different, but...
I don't understand. So you think I imagined him?
Not exactly. I think you went through a very traumatic experience, and this is how your brain chose to cope.
What? No. What about the feeling I felt when he was nearby? What about the things he did? The video from the security camera?
That's when it gets a bit complicated. I think that during certain moments, you blacked out.
So you think I did all of the things he did? What, like in Fight Club?
Yes, I suppose.
So in the video, that was just me.
I'm afraid it was.
What? No, that doesn't make any sense. I saw him. I felt his hand when he tried to drown me.
Yes, I meant to talk about that.
You think I tried to drown myself? Why would I do that?
I think that maybe all the guilt had caught up to you, and it was too much for you to handle.
No, you don't understand. Everything that happened, it wasn't me. It was him. I swear, I'm not crazy.
I never said you were, Owen. I think you are very emotionally distressed, and because of that, your brain chose this coping mechanism. I'm not dismissing your experiences, I'm simply trying to understand. And I think that this is the best explanation. And I promise you, Owen, I will help you. We will unpack this coping mechanism together, and before you know it, he will be gone.
Oh, you don't understand. He is very much real, and he is coming. I can feel it again.
Everything is going to be fine, Owen. You just have to breathe through that feeling. He isn't going to.
No! No! What did you do? 3.